Acclaimed motivational speaker Les Brown tells us how to unleash our greatness. Welcome to Profile. I'm Ian Boyne. Good to have you back, Les. I want to start by asking you, how did you yourself begin to unleash your greatness as a motivational speaker? You went into an industry that was dominated by white people. White people had been writing about positive self-image, positive thinking for all of these years. New Thought movement began in Ireland with Quimby. You as a black man took this field by storm. How did the opportunity?
Well, first of all, there were no books. When I went into the library and went to the bookstores, there were no books that were addressed to us. Yes. Because white men, who primarily were the dominant speakers, yes, they didn't have to deal with racism and discrimination. So they had nothing for us. Napoleon Hill, during the time when he wrote Think and Grow Rich, that book, during that time, black people couldn't vote. We were not looked upon as American citizens. We were seen as second-class citizens, yes, and we were victims of institutional racism and discrimination. True. So that was accepted part of the culture, being a part of a culture where we were treated less than. We were not educated. We were indoctrinated to believe that we were less than, that we were inferior, and white people were superior. That was the order of the day. And so one of the things that I learned from Mr. Washington, he said, 3 principles if you want to become successful, and there are others that we're going to be teaching people over the years, and the speakers, that I'm going to be training, is that there are 9 principles of life empowerment for you to begin to develop your greatness. But let me deal with 3. Yes. Number 1 is that each of us can achieve far beyond our horizons and avenues of life we've never explored. And we have to begin to restructure our mindset. Yes. Because you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who wrote the book, The Miseducation of the Negro, he said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. And so what Mr. Washington taught me, he said, if you want to be successful, he said, work on your mind. Man. He said, read a minimum of 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day. Oh. And so I disciplined myself to do that, even to this day.
Even to this day, even though you know so much.
Without any question.
You try to read it.
Yes. You never find out how much you know until you find out how little you know. Yes. And so I read on a regular basis. The other thing that's very important, he said, put your money where your mouth is. He said, once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Warren Buffett, who's a billionaire, billions of dollars in the stock market, billions of dollars in real estate. When he graduated from Harvard, the first thing he did was he got a communications course. He invested in a communications course because communication skills gives you access to different careers, to advancement, to money beyond your belief. No one could have told me if my birth parents came here right now, I would not know either one, that I, born in an abandoned building on the floor, being labeled educable, mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, failing again in the 8th grade, no college training, that in an hour and a half, and the average person in America earns $240,000 in their lifetime. The principles that I teach in an hour and a half, I've earned in an hour and a half $410,000 in an hour and a half.
You have?
Yes. If you go online and put in the Seminar of the Century with T. Harv Eker, who wrote Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, yes, that's what I earned at that event. And so what I'm talking about is something that I know. No. I don't believe this. I know this. You don't teach what you don't know, and you don't lead where you don't go. But I did not know I could do this. For 14 years, I didn't do it because my negative conversation to myself was, Les Brown, You're adopted. You were born in an abandoned building on a floor. You were labeled educable, mentally retarded. You can't compete with people with PhDs and MBAs and college degrees and years of corporate experience that you don't have. And so now clients like AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, DirecTV, these are clients that I have now that
They're
for
calling
14 years, yes, I didn't know I could do that. And I'm saying to you, there are people watching us now that they have greatness in them. And they don't know, because we live in a world where we're told more about our limitations rather than our potential. If I said to you, listen, you can't do a broadcast show, someone else has to come along, and MIT did this study, and say you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, 17 times to neutralize that one negative statement. That's why we're taught faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. And so people of color have been treated around the world, overtly and covertly, that you are less than, you are inferior, and that begins to affect how you see yourself.
But you reached a point where you felt that you could climb any mountain.
Yes.
You could be the preferred motivational speaker.
Yes, it's
and as
very
I said,
important.
this was a field that was totally dominated by white people.
Yes, but we have to hold ourselves to a different standard. They're providing information.
Yes.
Mike Williams, who wrote the book, and this is my mentor, he wrote the book, The Road to Your Best Stuff. It's on Amazon, The Road to Your Best Stuff. He said, Brownie, make yourself stand out. They're providing information. If information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. He said, use your story strategically to create a significant emotional event.
So you started that in the motivational
That's
business.
right.
You used your story.
Yes, and use my story, and that's how I train people how to do it. How to use your story to transform people individually and collectively. They want to just motivate them. No. You want to transform them. So as a result, you distract them from their story. Distract, dispute, and inspire. You distract them from their story. And strategically telling your story, you dismantle their current belief system and inspire them to become, as Mother Teresa would say, to become a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter with their lives. That's the key. And that's why I've been able to travel to over 51 countries and speak around the world, teaching people how to begin to create a new story for themselves and how to tell their story and build a multi-million-dollar business, or how to tell their story and make a difference.
What about those, Les, who point to concrete frustrations, concrete disappointment after disappointment, disillusionment? What do you say to them? How do they pick up
Life is full of frustrations and disappointments, and the key is
how do we not
to
become
know this.
immobilized
You're
by
going to
that?
fail your way to success.
Fail your way to success.
Yes.
Fail your way to
Walt
success.
Disney filed bankruptcy 7 times, and he had 2 nervous breakdowns. Walter P. Chrysler failed 49 times in the automobile industry. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Don't stop. Keep your commitment to your commitment. Most people, when they run into what they call a failure,
That's right.
it's not a failure, it's something happened that you don't know. And now you've got to go back to the drawing board. It's a learning experience. And now you have to ask yourself, what do I do now? And one of the things I believe, ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. Einstein said, the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. So he had to get some infusion of other thinking in order for him to do the things that he did. He didn't do it all by himself. None of us do. If you work on your mindset, if you increase your skill set, and if you create collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships with people that you can learn from. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. You want to be around people you can learn from, because you earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. Now, when I found that out,
within $2,000 to $3,000.
yes, I got all the broke people out of my life. Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta go from up in here, up in here. No. I don't want this. Yes.
So we need to associate with people.
Yes, many people watching now will never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives that will compromise their power. What fellowship does light have with darkness? None. If you want to become successful, you've got to practice a principle of what I teach, OQP, only only quality people. Well, Les, can I change them? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself.
Yes.
And there's some people so negative, they can walk into a dark room and begin to develop. Oh, behave, whatever.
It's the law of association we're talking about.
Yeah.
We are exploring the 9 principles to greatness on Profile.
In fact, the people who are watching, if they just email me lesbrown77@gmail.com, I'll send it to them, lesbrown77@gmail.com.
We'll explore some of these when we come back.